Hello and welcome back, everybody. I'm, of course, Cobra X, coming at you, not live, like always. And, yeah, guys, it's been a minute. The stuff around the NFL and everything else I want to talk about things that have happened in the last couple weeks or so. Starting with probably the Devontae Parker retirement announcement that happened a while ago. At 31, what? Like, that's not that old for him, and I still thought he had better ball in him left, given the better situation than New England. And, he was solid with Miami. I mean, that a couple years ago, he had 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns and stuff. So I don't know. He was pretty good a couple years ago, but he's had a rough last couple years. I can get him wanting to retire if he wants to spend time with family and stuff. I get that. I'd like to talk about last week. First week of OTAs. Your first sights of the 22 are King, Lamar. You got two different kings there. But anyways, with Derrick Henry, we're looking pretty good, pretty fresh. And they also have a visit with Jamal Adams. Nothing came of that. He also has more visits as well with other teams. But, he was okay with the Seahawks. He did have, the last couple of years did have a couple down years, but he was a little productive, but he also been going through some injuries and stuff as well. But his first, 3-4 years in the NFL as the Jets, he was a straight out dog, dude. Safety, ball hawking it up. I mean, he had 4 or 5 picks one year. He's still under the age of 30, he's still relatively young. He can probably, I think he has a lot left in the tank. If we sign him, that would add even more depth to that chart. I mean, we already have Kyle, we already have Marcus, but, it'd be always cool to add another former Pro Bowler for some the experience, and also I think that he can come back and play at a high level and do a lot better in his coverages than what he's shown in the last couple of years with the Seahawks. There's been some inconsistencies, but like I said, guys, he's still got a lot of ball left in him. Jamal Adams is no joke. And, I just don't. I think he can be a threat. I really do. But that being said, it's just a visit. It's nothing serious. It's got a lot of people wanting to be in Baltimore just as badly as people are checking out the Lions now. Because they're a threat. Whether people want to admit it or not, they're straight up delusional if they don't know what the Lions are doing. It's just talking about the Detroit Lions. I mean, signing Jared Goff was a huge accomplishment over the offseason here. We finally got done, for $212 million 4-year contract. We have $170 million guaranteed. That makes him $53 million per year. And now that's just the second highest, I believe, apart from, Joe Burrow, maybe? And he's just, they have, the whole offense is set. Young offense. I think he's probably the oldest player on that offense for the most part. Which is just nuts because he'll be 30, I think, mid-season or when the season starts or whatever, still only 30 years old. It's hard to believe that he's just 30 when it seems like he's been in the league for a lot longer. I think 2016 first round pick. Man's been to a Super Bowl. He's been to a couple NFC championship games. If it wasn't for Dan Campbell and his big old balls, instead of going for fourth downs and those couple field goals that he could have gotten instead, we might have been seeing them in the Super Bowl, and who knows what happened after that. We beat the Chiefs the first time, why not in the Super Bowl? But, that's a whole different experience and whole different world that we live in that didn't quite happen. But it's alright. Dan's announced that he doesn't know bust. He doesn't know what bust is. He just knows winning. Winning the Super Bowl is his goal, and that should be every team's goal, and he's absolutely right. I don't get a team that's got any other thought process than, oh yeah, let's skate by with 6 or 7 wins. We can just keep building and building and building. As long as we sell those tickets, that's all that matters. No. Okay? Selling those tickets to that Super Bowl appearance, that's what really matters. That's what people want to see. And that's what I would be paying for to watch. A team that actually wants to succeed and not just skate by year in and year out. There's teams that are on the cusp of turning it around and not being that bottom barrel franchise that they've known to become, like the Lions was one of them. And the Browns, hopefully, Deshaun Watson can prove to us that he's not just a fluke and he's not just taking up an ungodly amount of cap space, that he can prove himself to being the quarterback he once was with the Houston Texans. But we'll find out later. I mean, like I said, we're in week 2 of OTAs right now. It's nice to see Lamar getting some chemistry with Henry, and it's just been cool to see watching some of these OTAs happen and watching some of these guys react. Some of the rookies around the league. They said the Bears. I was watching some of the Bears. Caleb Williams having a not so cool couple practices, but it's OTAs. You can't judge him being that, he's going to be a bust already. No, come on now. Do I think that they're going to be a threat to win the NFC North? Absolutely not. They can do some damage, and by the end of the year, they're going to look like he's going to probably be, because he's going to be the starter. Stetson Bennett. Unfound or unknown to me and a lot of other people because they kept it on the reps. All of last year we wondered why he was on the the PUP list or the injured reserve for non-physical reserve, and I understand what happened to him. He didn't seem like he was injured in preseason or whatever of last year. And there was no signs. Well, it turns out, just like everybody else, we struggle with mental health issues so badly that he sat at home all year last year. He kept in shape, kept up with the team and everything else, and kept updated. But I guess he was suffering some serious mental health issues. And when you're not right up here, you cannot perform on that field as well as you'd like to. And I'm sure him being a 4th round pick, and he had high expectations being back-to-back champion out of Georgia, and it just seemed like he'd be a great, I think he's 25 or 26. He's a little older for a quarterback because he stayed for 4 or 5 years in college. So, my opinion, I thought he should take another year here to learn behind these veteran guys, and they should be looking to move Stafford next year. That's my opinion. I think Benton could be a starter in this league somewhere. But the way things are with the Rams, they're waiting. Stafford's wanting an extension. He's wanting more money. He just seen Goff, the guy, he was traded out of Detroit for, and just Goff was just dumped there. He's won a Super Bowl, but their stats other than that Super Bowl is almost identical, actually, for the amount of games that they played, because we do know that Goff isn't injured. Stafford does get injured, especially in the last few years. And we're just counting the games that they both played, the amount of games. I think it's 24 is what this stat thing that is being thrown around per sources and stuff is pretty close. The only difference is pretty much more touchdowns for that of Jared Goff. Jared Goff has 78, I believe, and 75 for Matt Stafford. So that's pretty darn close for everything. I don't know, there's so much going on in the NFL that I think this is going to be a really, really good season, really competitive all the way around. The NFC's gotten a little bit better. The quarterbacks are still in the AFC. I still think the strongest quarterbacks are in the AFC. Now, I seen this ranking thing with people ranking quarterbacks, NFC quarterbacks, and they still have Goff around 6th or 7th. I don't think he's, for NFC quarterback, I don't think he's that. I think he's 3rd or 4th. I really do. But I don't know. Man, I mean, Geno, I think, should be up higher. You got Stafford should be 1 or 2, for sure. Cousins, I don't know. People got him pretty high, like 4th or 5th on that list. And with the Achilles tear, and we don't know what he's going to be with, we don't know what's going on with Atlanta, since they also drafted the, I think it's Michael Penix, right? I hope I'm right. With the first overall pick, it's just weird to see. I've seen that you have JJ sitting out in the Vikings OTAs, and no, not JJ McCarthy, their rookie new quarterback that replaced that of a Captain Kirk Cousins. But Justin Jefferson. He's wanting a new deal, or he's wanting out of there, and they don't want to pay him. They need to pay him. They have I think one of the best. A lot of NFL teams have good receivers now, like good combination of receivers. Oh yeah, they have Dak Prescott as number 1 quarterback in the NFC. Boo. Okay, no, I'd put him like 3rd. Okay, I'd put him maybe even 4th. He's solid, he's good, but he's not the best. Nowhere even close. You got Stafford with Puka and Cooper. Those two guys. They now have a decent running back now. And that team's going to be on fire this year. They're going to be fully back. They are rebuilt. I think they're rebuilt enough to make a push. I don't think they're going to be Super Bowl bound with, you got and Brock Purdy ahead of Jared Goff as well. He's consistent, but he also has top talent. Goff does too, but I'm just saying, you can't put him way up there on that list. I really think I think Purdy's he's good, but he's not. Like, put him in a different situation. Put him with not that many wide receivers. Put him in New England, okay? Put him in New England. We'll see how good he really is if he can play. How good everybody thinks he is. Mr. Relevant is now Mr. Irrelevant. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't care. I just don't care. I think the 49ers, the whole team is so good that you can have some blemishes on your team, and they're not going to show much because there's so much freaking talent. The defense, Fred Warner and company, those guys are just offense. Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, which I believe is I think he signed the franchise tag. I'm not 100% sure. He's looking for a new contract, but he's still going to be playing. Debo's still there. I mean, that team is pretty well stacked as well as any other in the NFC. Jalen Hurts, another quarterback in the NFC that have ranked higher than Jared Goff. I'd put them about as equals as well as Dak Prescott. I know it's very hard to wrap everybody's mind around that Jared Goff is actually as good as what people think he is. Stat-wise and everything, but leader in the locker room, everything's there for that man. He's got everything going for him. New contract and everything. And I think Dan with a little bit minor adjustments this year. Their schedule's looking pretty decent too. I'm going to do another video and I'm going to go through at least the Ravens and the Lions schedules, and we're going to go through and see where they're going to end up, in my opinion, with the win column. And I may or may not do all 32 teams as well, but that might be a different time than that, because that's pretty time consuming, and this guy's going to have to do some research on everybody, on the teams as wholes, and I don't know where everybody has went. I know certain players and stuff, people that I follow, like, for example, I'm like the Raiders, they're not going to do very well this year. I really don't think so. And let's go back on Stetson Bennett a little bit, because I entirely forgot that Jimmy G is the backup for Stafford. Completely. Like, today when I seen the mental health issue with Bennett, I was just like, wait, what? Jimmy G? Oh, yeah. I thought they booted him out and he was just going to be done. I forgot that he got signed, even though I believe he's going to be serving a 2 or 3 game suspension. I'll be looking that up for sure, make sure I'm correct on that one. But for the things that happened with the Raiders and the injury and stuff. So I don't know. There's so much going on in the NFL. It's hard to keep track right now of everybody, but some people do look really good. I'm hearing the defensive player that Detroit got in the draft. He's had a phenomenal opening to his OTAs as well. I think the Cardinals are going to be going to do a little bit better than they did last year, but not much. The Bears, though, like I said, for the NFC North, I'm going to say this year will be a race for third place. As in, you're going to have Detroit, in my opinion, is number 1. Packers are a close second, because I think it's going to come down to the race for number 1 between those two. I think Lions are going to be able to edge them out this year. And I say they split the schedule this year like they did last year. And, because they whooped our ass on Thanksgiving. And I don't think that happens again. But the Vikings, having the rookie quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, we'll see how good he really is in a different different format and everything else, and we'll see how pro-ready he really is. I mean, they have I believe Sam Darnold is going to be at the helm to start the season. Obviously, they're not going to start their rookie that has no experience, but I think Darnold's going to be on a very short leash. I don't care how much money they paid him. I think McCarthy starts 7, possibly 8 games into the season, midway through for sure. If Darnold slips and steps on himself and has happy feet and can't get out of the pocket to save his butt, and if he struggles like he did with the Panthers and everywhere else that he's been in his career, Jets are unforgiving, man. That team wants to win, and they don't care who they throw under the bus to get a win. That includes Aaron Rodgers, who has also said that this is it, man. This is the year. if we don't do some damage in the playoffs this year or get pretty far, that he's going to probably maul retirement, but a lot of guys will be let go, and they're going to have to push the reset button on the Jets franchise. So we'll see how that works. The East is going to get more competitive. Dolphins are still the Dolphins. The Bills, we'll see what happens with the Bills. I want to see how good Josh Allen is without Diggs. Because, and I think he lost Gabe as well. So, we're going to have to see how good he really is. Because they didn't help him with the receiver corps this year as much as I thought they would. I thought by getting rid of Diggs, but I think they had a lot of salary cap issues. And him and Allen weren't getting along the greatest. So there's that. But yeah, guys, just some updates. Tomorrow I'm gonna be doing another video as well, where I got some more sad news for people, including some NASCAR news, which I hardly ever talk about, and we'll make some speculations, create some buzz about the future of NASCAR and what's going on over there. Because, man, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. You know, you had Indy cars, you had the Indy 500 over this past weekend. We're going to be talking wrestling tomorrow as well. And, yeah, guys, it's going to be something else. But until then, I'm excited for OTAs. I'm excited to see more transactions being made in the NFL. And we'll see. We got basketball. I mean, my favorite player is playing tonight, and I'm hoping that Luka sweeps and they go to the finals, man. I want Mavs in the finals. Let's go. Get that boy his ring. He deserves it, man. He's a hard worker. I personally think he should have been MVP this year, but that's just me. That's just me. No knock on the Joker. He's very talented, very good, very skilled. But, Luka, man, I mean, when you average basically a triple-double on the season, and you're averaging around 34, 35 points a game, winning. And that's the other thing. I really don't think okay, we can't get into that because I'm going to be going off forever. So I'll save that for tomorrow. We'll get into that later. But I just wanted to give a quick update that Jamal Adams had that visit with Baltimore. It would be so sweet to see him sign there. I'd like to see him get signed for Detroit as well. That'd be great. They need the secondary help more than even Baltimore does. You know, you have a aging Marlon Humphreys, but, you know, Marlon's still Marlon. As long as he stays healthy, I think he'll be even better this year. More solid. And then after that, I think we might have to get rid of Marlon, even though I don't want to. But salary cap says otherwise. And the history of Baltimore Ravens says otherwise. They like to turn guys over in the free agency. If the cap relief would be beneficial to them as a franchise. You know, this is a business. We love all of our Baltimore players. I've seen a lot of them pop up on the free agency chart this year, or former Baltimore players popping up all over the free agency this year. And it's kind of cool to see people still be around, still getting signed around the league that are Baltimore Raven homegrown John Harbaugh minded people. It's a great thing to see. But like I said, guys, that is it for this video, and I will see you next time. Cobra X out. Bye.